Do any of you realize how near we are to Christmas?
It's that time of year again. Christmas is upon us once more.
Can we open our presents now, Dad?
The only present you're likely to receive from me, my boy, is a crack over the knuckles with this stick.
And along with all the food and drink and prezzies, there's also the age-old argument to be had among fans, which is the best Gerry Anderson Christmas episode.
But sir, you does not know what you was saying.
Since there are only 5, it's relatively easy to compile a top 5 list, but will you agree with our ranking?
Why not? Should work.
Number 5. Thunderbirds.
Give or take $1 million.
Thunderbirds goes festive for its final episode with fairly disappointing results.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
As the bulk of the narrative revolves around a flashback relating the story of a rocket full of Christmas gifts being sent from a toy shop to a children's hospital.
How are international rescue involved?
Wait and see, nurse. Just wait and see.
Rather than something going wrong with the rocket that requires international rescue's assistance, perhaps with it crashing into the hospital, I'm not for a moment advocating putting children in danger at Christmas, although Supermarionation children are a different matter.
Gee.
We instead follow 2 thieves sneaking into the toy shop in order to plunder the bank next door.
Holy mackerel!
The story meanders along at a leisurely, bordering on comatose pace.
That's right. And then back to bed.
And the episode's idea of dramatic tension is an interminable sequence featuring the 2 robbers drilling through a wall that seems to go on forever.
You hate to spoil your Christmas like this.
In fact, now might be a good time to check in on them and see how they're getting on.
Nearly there. Yep.
Still drilling. Thought so.
Don't spoil it.
It's certainly nice to see the Tracy family preparing for Christmas.
You must call me Santa.
Okay, Mr. Tracy. Santa.
With the end of episode surprise from Brains being a genuinely touching moment.
It's beautiful.
But ultimately, events would have unfolded in exactly the same way whether our heroes were in the story or not.
Keep back. I'll do it.
And that's never a good thing for an episode of any show.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
For a Thunderbirds Christmas episode, give or take $1 million feels rather like a missed opportunity.
What's next?
Number 4. Joe 90, the Unorthodox Shepherd.
This is unexpected. Most kind.
Joe 90 offers up a Christmas special that actually takes place in the week leading up to December 25th.
This time next week, we'll all be sleeping off our Christmas dinner.
With only the last couple of scenes taking place on the big day itself.
Well, Reverend, it's time for the Christmas Carol service.
Once again, our heroes are up against a pair of greedy crooks, this time producing counterfeit dollar bills in a crypt beneath the church of the Reverend Joseph Shepherd.
The perfect setup.
And have to find out why the vicar seems to be in league with them.
A fair question.
The story is one of the more gentle and low-key episodes of Joe 90, but it's not without a certain degree of charm.
We could have a white Christmas.
With the Reverend Shepherd being one of the show's more memorable guest characters, so much so that this episode is essentially a trial run for the next Supermarionation series, The Secret Service.
Ah, yes. Righty scribbly in your bookery.
Speak up, man. You know I'm a little deaf.
Ah, Partlow. I'll explain to you.
The Unorthodox Shepherd is also the only Gerry Anderson Christmas episode to prominently feature any religious theming, with the image of Joe as an angel being one of the most iconic, if somewhat surreal moments of the entire series.
Angel 1, immediate launch.
The episode also benefits from extensive location filming, and the final shot of the snow-covered church hosting the Christmas Carol service is almost magical in its elegant simplicity, even with the shadows of the camera crew. Number 3. New Captain Scarlet, Enigma.
I gotta admit, I've been kinda looking forward to that.
Sometimes, the best Christmas episodes are those that are light on festive flavour, but strong on all the elements that make the regular episodes of that show such a success. And that's Enigma all over.
Now where am I? Is this the past, the future, or what?
While not technically a Christmas episode in its own right, Enigma earns a spot on this list thanks in part to a scene that echoes Captain Picard's Nexus Christmas fantasy in Star Trek Generations, as Captain Scarlet finds himself in the family home of Captain Black and Destiny Angel in a potential alternate reality that sees the pair happily married and with children.
I hope you haven't gone crazy.
You tell me.
Although some of Black's parenting skills could definitely do with some work.
Those kids could do with some cake to quieten them down.
Yeah, take it from me, that never works.
Had it be difficult to keep quiet?
All this, however, is only a small part of the episode, which opens with a fast-paced sequence involving the Angels taking on a Mysteron spacecraft that then lands in the Australian outback.
What kind of a place is this? The Mysteron's kind of place. So stay sharp.
Upon entering the ship, Captains Scarlet, Blue, Ochre and Grey find themselves in a Mysteron maze that seems to offer an end to the war of nerves between the Earth and Mars. Or does it?
What is done cannot be undone.
From the breakneck opening battle scene to the Spectrum team's investigation of the Mysteron spacecraft that raises more questions than it answers, Enigma is one of the finest episodes of a brutally underrated series.
Well, thanks for that anyway.
Number 2. Stingray.
A Christmas to remember.
Unlike Thunderbirds, Stingray manages to get the balance of seasonal sentimentality and its regular action fare just right here.
I'm only too glad you're here to enjoy it.
There's plenty of festive flair, but also a good deal of action, and even a mystery to be solved.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
You bet I would.
All of which is expertly weaved together to create a story that's exactly what fans would hope to see from a Stingray Christmas episode.
Wow. Say, will you look at this?
For once, even the inclusion of a Super Mario Nation child character isn't as annoying as it might otherwise be, thanks to his somewhat tragic backstory.
You knew Barry's father, didn't you?
It was a real tragedy. But don't let's talk about that.
And the fact that he doesn't take over the episode.
He doesn't stand a chance.
He's just invited along for the ride and is cheerfully oblivious to the potential dangers.
Go on, Troy. Go on. I'm listening.
As Troy and Phones investigate a seemingly abandoned submarine that attacked them a few days before the story began, and which may not be as empty as it appears.
As it's Christmas Day, there won't be much going on.
As exciting as the action stuff is, seeing the Wasp team enjoying Christmas is by far the highlight of this episode.
Those fellas had better not be late home for their Christmas dinner.
Marina and Atlanta building snowmen, Phones as Santa, and in particular the ice skating sequence, which still stands as one of the finest Super Mario Nation scenes of all time.
Isn't that cute?
In fact, this episode is so almost perfect that it very nearly stole the #1 slot on this list.
Don't thank me. Thank our future Aquanaut, Barry Byrne.
Yeah, nearly. Oh, you may be the least irritating of these Super Mario Nation guest kids, but still, point deducted.
Well, you don't seem very pleased about it.
Number 1. Terrahawks.
A Christmas miracle.
What's this?
What's this?
A list with Thunderbirds at the bottom and Terrahawks at the top? A Terrahawks dream episode, no less.
This is lunacy.
No, we've not started on the Christmas refreshments early. This one takes the top spot not only for managing the same balance of festive fun and Anderson action as Stingray, but also for being based around a real-life event.
I propose to launch a massive attack.
Taking as its inspiration the Christmas truce of 1914, when British, French and German forces laid down their arms and enjoyed the festive season together, A Christmas Miracle sees the Terrahawks and the Martians locked in battle on the lunar surface on Christmas Day.
What's happening?
They call it a creeping barrage. It's designed to scare the short circuits out of you.
Both sides are weary of the fighting, which only seems to be carrying on at the stubborn insistence of Neinstein and Zelda, until the Terrahawks choose to cease fire and invite Youngstar and Sistar back to Spacehawk for a Christmas party.
It's Christmas Day. Goodwill to all men.
Hero, you're right. And I'm going to do something about it.
The fact that it's Mary who is able to bring peace at Christmas is just one element of the story that would probably have gone over the heads of young viewers in the 1980s, but is very obvious to adult eyes.
Yes. Happy Christmas.
Thank you.
And as spectacular as the battle sequences are, the real highlights of this episode come after the ceasefire, as the Terrahawks party with their Martian guests in a way that feels 100% in keeping with how these characters would behave in such a scenario.
Do you, come here often?
I bet you say that to all the young girls.
Wish I had a piece of mistletoe to hold over that pair.
With even Einstein and Zelda eventually getting in on the fun.
You know, we're old. Over the hill.
They say life begins at 140.
But if all this is Einstein's dream, then why, all the, No, not even gonna think about why he'd imagine Zelda looking like this.
For space's sake, Zelda, will you get off me?
Although it was all only a dream, the Terrahawks Christmas episode is one of the most entertaining in the show's run, and isn't afraid to be silly while also speaking a very basic truth, that ultimately, Christmas should be a day when feuds are laid to rest and we realise that there is more that unites us than divides us.
You will dance to a different tune when I get you home, you wretched boy!
Or perhaps not.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Does this list tally with your own opinion on the best Gerry Anderson Christmas episodes?
What's the matter, sir?
Nothing. Troy.
Or can you not get enough drilling and bank robbery over the festive season?
I give up, I really do.
Let us know in the comments below, and have a very FAB Christmas.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Happy Christmas.